Hi friend, David here from Learn Christmas Lighting, and I am all bundled up today because it's snowing in Nashville, Tennessee, and I want to talk about planning your display for next year. Okay, so the day this video is coming out, it is 2 days before Christmas, what some people call Christmas Adam. But regardless of what day it is specifically, we're nearing the end of Christmas light season. Depending on your show, you may run until New Year's. You may run till January 6th. You may leave it up till next year. That's your choice. But regardless, most people are probably starting to think about tearing their lights down, taking their lights down, packing their stuff away, and, putting it away till you think about it in September, right? Wrong. No, you can do that. But while the lights are up right now, I want to take you through a few steps to think about if you're going to add anything to your show for next year, and if you're planning to do so, how to figure out how to plan for that now, not next year, now. Okay. So I just want to walk you through some steps on how to do this, both visually and in xLights. So the very first thing, and I mean to put a bunch of video in here of my show, I meant to, but it has been raining like every stinking night that I'm home, and I don't feel like standing out there in the rain. So this is my show this year. This is what the display looks like. It's mostly on in this photo. This was some testing before I went live. You can see my sign wasn't lit up yet. But in this video, I want to talk about, okay, how do you decide, say you want to add to your display, how do you decide what to add? Well, the first thing I would say is, do you need to add anything? First, decide that. This hobby's fun, but I don't want it to be stressful for you. And by no means do you need to add something new for next year. Feel free to add a small thing, to add nothing at all. For example, from the previous year till this year, all I added was these matrix panels down here, kind of in the, I don't know what you call it, the chin of the house. And I added these little piece stakes. They didn't turn out that great. We'll talk about that later, but they're fine. They just don't stand up straight. I tried something new. But anyways, that's what I added this year, because we had a baby. I launched this business, Learn Christmas Lighting, launched the academy where we're teaching people and helping people out with their shows. It's been a great success, but I had a lot on my plate this season, so I kept it small. That's fine. But if you are looking to add something, you want to grow your display, you want to have more fun, then here are my top things that I would recommend doing. First and foremost, think about, are there any props that have really been a pain in the butt to you this year? Okay. For example, I might get rid of my conventional icicles. These are some incandescent, well, they're LED, but conventional, just plug into the wall type icicles that do flash on and off at different times during my show. They're kind of a pain in the butt. I don't like them. I might get rid of them and replace them with something else. So that's a spot to go, okay. Number two for me is these strips here are actually my original Christmas display that I did. I did just these 6 vertical strips. That was my first year. They're 5 volt. I did the power injection wrong, so sometimes they flicker funny, because I did not carry the negative between multiple power supplies like you should do, and that causes problems. And sometimes some of the connectors as well kind of bugger out, and I lose segments, so I'm not happy with those lights. I'm thinking I'll replace those. So that's the first thing, is like, okay, go look at your display. Think about when I was setting up, if your display's been around for more than a year, when I was setting up or whatnot, are there any props or elements of my display that I really hate, that I really don't like? And if so, replace those. I'm probably going to go with these modular matrix panels from Boscoyo Studio. These are these little matrices right here, and they're actually the perfect height to fit in there. They would cover my house number, so I'm going to have to ask permission from my wife on that one, but it's on her mailbox. So, I don't know. Other things to look for dark areas. So part of me is really brainstorming, okay, this area above our car here, say above the antenna and above, is like half the carport in height. Could I do something in that dark area there that could really fill the space and look really cool? I could do a huge matrix. I think that's a little tacky, but it would be easy to hang something off of the roof or off of the gutter there and could potentially look really cool. Another thing to look at is, okay, are there dark areas on your house? Can you hang stuff on your siding? There's these new siding clips that have hit the market. You can find them on Amazon this year. And when you have a joint in your siding where the pieces of plastic come together, you can use these clips and they work really well. They make it easy to hang like snowflakes and stuff. Is that an option? The next thing is if you want to make your display more grand, then think about coming out into your yard more. I'm a little, how do I say this? I'm a little skeptical about that because we live at the end of a street. I'm at like a T in the road, and all the kids that live behind us like go running through the yard to get various places. Used to be for the school bus. It's 2020. We're not doing that so much. But the kids, man, they go running through our yard, all the neighborhood kids, not just mine. I don't know if I'm going to do that. But what I can do is start to expand to the sides. And so that's one thing that I'm starting to plan for next year. This is a tree right here, a big, overgrown, poorly maintained over the years. We've only been here 3 years, evergreen tree. And I think I'm going to cut it down this next spring. And I think I'm going to put a mega tree there because I can actually support that guy off of the carport, which will be epic. I think I can do that. And that should be really awesome and look really good. So look for those options to expand to the sides, expand forward, or even expand up to the roof. Have things up on your roof. I don't have a lot of front-facing roof. Only my carport roof is front-facing. I've been thinking about moving heads. They're kind of pricey, but they're cool. Maybe putting some moving heads up there, etc. So once you kind of stand out there while the show's going, listen to it, once in your car, whatever, and look at it and say, okay, where are there holes? Where could I fill stuff in and make my display look more complete? And then once you do that, let's go to xLights. Okay, so that's the next thing we're going to do. So I'm going to pop over to xLights here. And if you haven't already, bring in a photo that has your display on with your current lights in it, okay? We're going to skip upgrading xLights for now. And go to your layout tab. So this one has most of my lights in it, including the new stuff. And so what you can begin to do in your layout tab is do exactly that. Start to look at how this would physically look and get an idea. Just brainstorm here. Because I could literally put a tree right here. Right here next to my carport. It was kind of funky. It wouldn't let me stretch it past the edge of the image, but now I can, now that it's created. And I would probably do a 180 tree. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. So, begin to brainstorm. Okay, what if I put, what would this look like in my yard? How could I make this look its best? Maybe I go and I build a really loose matrix or a net of some kind, in this space. I got to get the measuring tape out for that one for sure. And that could definitely be a great option. And so get into xLights. I really recommend doing that because what you'll find is when you've got your display, you've got all your existing elements and their pixel counts in there correctly. Now you can begin to type out and be like, okay, so I want to do this huge matrix here. Or, okay, I want to do this tree here, right? This mega tree. You can begin to go, okay, now I can start typing in some numbers till it looks right. Like this by default is a 16 by 50 string. Maybe I turn that into a 24 by 50. And I like that. And then I might go outside and say, okay, can I measure this? Can I grab a tape measure, measure this distance and see, okay, would that be 2-inch spacing? Would that be 3-inch spacing? What would that be? Maybe I find that it's, 46 tall. And so I enter that in here in xLights in the nodes per string, and I get a more accurate picture of what's going on. At the end of the day, I want you to have fun. I want you to enjoy this hobby as much as I have, and I hope you do as well, and not to stress about it. But there's definitely no better time to look at the real world. Look at your house, how it looks today, how the show's running on it, and begin to say, I would love to have something more here and here and here, and play around with xLights. And then the next night, look outside and say, that would work. Or, oh, maybe I should move that. Because ultimately, while your display is up is the easiest time to figure out where you could expand. When it's June next year and you're like, man, what did that look like in person? Like you probably have some video and stuff, but in person's always a slightly different story, right? Things look just a little bit better. And you go, okay, in person, what did that need? What did that look like? Instead of having to scratch your head and remember in June or July, why not do it now? Plus, you can dream and you can start to think about and get things ordered and budget and be ready for your display to grow next year. Awesome. If you guys enjoyed this, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe here if you're not already to get the latest about Christmas lighting. I've got a lot planned this year for you guys, as well as the folks in Learn Christmas Lighting Academy. And if you're not familiar with what that is, you'll definitely want to check that out in the links below too. Awesome. Thanks so much and have a great day. Merry Christmas.